Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is our lesson 10 on TRICENTIS Tosca Automation tool concepts. So in this session, I'm going to cover TestStep Library and Reusable Test Step Blocks. Basically, in my previous session, I have showed you one entire end-to-end scenario where we have automated the processing of checkout and then paying the amount by using credit card, right? So I'm gonna teach you a new scenario and then we are gonna automate that new scenario. So while automating that new scenario, how can I use a library function and how can I use the existing automated test steps as a reusable test step blocks. Basically, we are identifying the reusable test step blocks so that I can use those reusable test step blocks in automating the new scenarios. Okay, so this is very helpful in automation. Okay, please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, click on bell icon so that you will receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. So before we start automating a new scenario, I just want to cover some of the theoretical topics, right? Okay, so here, what are the Tosca libraries? In Tosca, the library is called as TestStep libraries. Okay, so the steps inside the library which we plan to reuse are called as reusable test step blocks, and these libraries can contain any number of reusable test step blocks, and these reusable test step blocks can be used any number of times in multiple test cases. So what is TestStep library? So TestStep library contains reusable test step blocks. Any changes in the library will automatically update references in test cases. Okay, so let me explain you by walk you through the actual automation scenario, then you will understand better way. Okay, and then what is your reusable test step block? One or more test steps that will be reused throughout numerous test cases contained within a library. That means we are gonna store these reusable test step blocks in a library and then we'll be reusing them for numerous test cases. Okay, so now let me explain when can we use these Tosca libraries and then when can we use these reusable test step blocks. Okay, so in what kind of scenarios we'll be using them. Okay, so earlier what we did in my previous sessions, we automated a scenario where you'll be going to the apparels and shoes and then you'll click on add cart and then you'll be going to the shopping cart, and here you'll be checking out the blue jeans, right? So in the checkout process, what we did earlier, we just provide the billing address and then shipping address, and then I'm going to select what is the shipping method, ground, and continue. Okay, so what we did is earlier we actually worked on credit card purchase, correct? Okay, let me do that again. Okay, so earlier what we did is we entered credit card and then clicked on continue. Basically the payment method we selected, the scenario where we automated the payment method of credit card, and then once we click on continue, it's going to ask you to provide the credit card details. Okay, so what if I want to automate a scenario related to check money order, right? So if I select this check money order and after clicking on continue, it's not going to display me the page where you will be entering the credit card details, but instead it's going to display a payment information, correct? So that means here whatever the steps earlier we followed, those automation script will be changed here, right? So that means I have to change the path. So basically from login moving to apparels and shoes, adding item to the cart, and then going to the shipping cart and checking out the item, and then entering bill address, shipping address, and shipping method. Till this point, the same steps whatever we are following, we can follow. But in the checkout process, the steps are changing. Correct? So that means whatever steps I'm performing before checkout are same. Correct? So that means I can reuse the code whatever I used for automating the previous scenario, right? I can reuse the code until checkout, right? And then again after checking out, so if I use money order, right? So let me check the price verification. Okay, so once you click on this, once you click on continue, what happens here? The verification of the price is not same as the previous scenario where you have used a credit card, because here you will be having some payment method additional fee, because I selected the payment method as check or money order. They are going to charge me a $5 additional price. That means price verification part and the checkout process, both of them got changed, right? That means except checkout process and price verification method, I can reuse entire rest of the code. Login, selecting the product, checking out process, means adding the item into the cart, and then logging out, right? All these functions, all this particular code I can reuse in a new scenario called the payment method check or money order, right? So now let me tell you how can we really reuse these libraries, and how can we reuse the test steps that we already automated. Okay, okay, so now this is my Tosca automation tool, right? Where we have done our lesson 9, and then I have automated we have automated the entire scenario where we have used the payment method as credit card. So now let's see how to use basically let's see the concept of library. How can we create a library? So all you need to do is you just need to right click on your test case, okay, and then select library, create a test step library. We need to select create test step library, okay, and then you, so this test step library folder will be created. Now, so under test step library, you have to identify the reusable test step blocks. Correct? So as I explained you in earlier, so entering the URL, logging in. So this is same for even payment method, money order or check. Correct? So that means I can identify this code test step as a reusable test step, right? So all you need to do is drag this test step and drop into library folder. As soon as you drag and drop into library folder, what happens? This test steps creates a reference. See, if you see underscore reference to this test step block under reusable test step block under library folder, right? And then ordering a product. So whatever blue jeans order we are doing, that is also same. There is no change even though you use the money order or check instead of credit card, right? So that means I can reuse this test step as it is. So now I have to drag this folder and drop into library folder, and again it's gonna create a reference. So this way I'm gonna I'm going to identify all the reusable components. Start checkout, even clicking on checkout also a reusable. I can reuse this also, drag and drop. Checkout process, no, I cannot reuse, because in checkout process the payment method, whatever you are using, this time we are going to use we are not going to use credit card. So that's why this is not my reusable component. And verify price. So in the verification of the prices, there is a change, right? So price verification is different process now. What about confirmation? Getting the basically confirm order. That means I'm validating the confirmation of the order. This remains same, right? So that means I can identify this as a reusable test step block. So drag and drop here, which creates a reference again. In the same way, I can drag and drop my success verification also. Okay, drag and drop that test step also to form a reference, and then post condition, which is logout and closing the browser. This also remains same. So again, I can identify this as a reusable test step. Drag and drop into library. So that means all these four, whatever the four test steps I identified as a reusable test steps, I have created them as a reusable test step blocks. So if you observe closely, the test step blocks under library folder are not ordered by a chronological order. Instead, these are all ordered by an alphabet. So basically alphabetical order, the folders will be ordered into. Okay, so remind so you understand, right? So how do we create a library, and then how can we identify a reusable test steps, and then how can you create a reusable test step blocks? Okay, so the reusable test step blocks under library are notated with this looping symbol. Okay, and then the test steps which are having a reference to the library are notated with the arrow mark symbol. Okay, but the test steps which are not reusable are not showing any arrow mark, right? Done. So that means now we identified the test steps, reusable test step blocks. Okay, so now let's start creating a new scenario now. So to create a new test case, right? So now we will be automating a new test case. To create that, let me minimize this test case one and then minimize this library. Okay, so let's create one new test case folder. Okay, new folder called test case 2. Okay, so under this, let me create another folder 10 reusable test step blocks. Okay, and now let's create a new test case. Create a test case. Okay, click on create test case, and then name it as payment process. Okay, payment process. So now, so this is our new test case that we are going to automate. Okay, create a test case folder and then your test case payment process, right? You need to drag your reusable test step blocks. So my first reusable test step block is precondition, right? Drag this and drop into your test case, and again after that order product, drag and drop here, and then start checkout process, drag and drop that reusable block, and then confirmation, drag and drop, and then my verification success, drag and drop. So that means, and then my post condition, drag and drop. Okay, what I'm doing, whatever the reusable test step blocks I have identified, I'm using the same reusable test step blocks in my new test case. Correct? So now here, so these are all the reusable test step blocks which I can use for this scenario as well. What are the steps that I cannot reuse? Let's create those folders first. Okay, So let me create one new folder called checkout process. Sorry, let me just do that. Checkout process. And then let me create another folder, verification of prices. Correct? So these two are the test steps which does not have the reusable test step blocks. Okay, so let me just arrange them into chronological order. So this checkout process starts when after start checkout, correct? And then this verification of the prices happens when after checkout process, correct? So now if you see, first you will be logging in by using precondition, and then you are going to order the product, and then you are going to check out that product into the cart, and then we are going to start checkout process where you'll be entering billing method, shipping method and all, and then I'm going to verify the prices, and then I'm going to click on confirmation order, and then I'm going to verify the success of the confirmation, and then I'm going to log out, right? So this is how we created our entire test steps. Now we need to fill these two test steps, right, blocks, these two test step blocks which are not reusable. Basically now you have to automate these two test step blocks, correct? So for that, let me go to the application now. Okay, so this is our web shop module. Okay, so where, if you see here, this scenario talks about we are automating a scenario where the payment method is used as check and money order, right? So once you click on continue, then what happens, a new screen will appear, right? So that's why we have to basically scan this new page, whatever it is appearing when I select the payment method as check or money order. Okay, for that what we are now going to do, so what we need to do is you have to go to your taskbar and then open a modules, right? And then keep these modules besides your test case. Okay, so if you see here, so the left side, these are test cases, and right side modules. So I already explained you about modules, how can we create the modules in my previous sessions. Just you can refer those previous sessions. Okay, so here if I expand my checkout process, right? If you see, I have an empty folder called 7B payment information check money order. That means I have to scan the objects related to check money order payment information. Okay, how can we do that? For that, all you need to do is right click and then click on scan and then select application. So as soon as you select the application, it's going to ask you what application you would like to scan. Okay, so here I would like to scan my demo web shop, correct? Click on scan. So as soon as you click on scan, by default what it will do, it's gonna retrieve all the objects that are available on this page. But we don't want to use that. Okay, I want to use select on screen option. Click on select on and then just bring this to the bottom. Now I would like to capture the table of this entire message, basically the entire payment information. Okay, so for that, select this, and also I would like to capture the back button here. Select this, and also I would like to capture the object continue button as well. Okay, select this. So now bring it back. So now I have captured, basically I have scanned the table with the information, back button and continue button. Okay, so now if you see here, the back button and continue button, these two are not uniquely identified. Sorry, if you see here, back button is uniquely identified. Okay, visible true, and then continue, let me check. Okay, if you see here, continue is not uniquely identified. Okay, I would like to make this continue button as uniquely identified by enabling the property called visible true. Okay, now I would like to rename this table as payment. Okay, message table, and then also I would like to rename this entire module. Oh, sorry. So I would like to rename this entire module as payment information money order, right? Money order check. Okay, done. So once you're done naming this, you just need to save this, save the module, and then finish screen. Okay, close this. So now what happens, the whatever the module just now we captured, the objects gonna capture here. If you see here, I have message table, back button, continue button. Okay, I've created a new module, right, which I can use for my checkout process. So if you see here, my checkout process whatever folder is empty. Now I have to use this module under checkout process, correct? So for that you just need to drag and drop your module here. Okay, payment method information money order. But before that, so if you see here, the checkout process has some other steps also, right? So I have to drag the modules related to these steps as well. Okay, so for that what we are going to do, so you have to add the rest of the modules as well, like billing address. So you just need to drag and drop billing address, and then shipping address module, and then shipping method module, and then payment method module, right? So but this payment information, right, this should be, we have to move this to the bottom, because first during checkout process what we are going to do, we will first, what we'll do, we enter the billing address, shipping method, payment method, and then payment information, which is a new page that just now we captured. So I have ordered in the same way, correct? So now all you need to do is, so for billing address what we'll do, we'll just click on continue. For shipping address, the shipping address, again you will be just clicking on continue button, correct? What is my shipping method here? This time the shipping method is ground, correct? So earlier also it's ground, and then you need to click on continue, correct? So entering the test step values I already explained you in my previous sessions. Okay, you guys have to refer that session. Okay, and then what about payment method? The payment method, this time what we are doing, we are gonna use the payment method called check or money order instead of credit card, correct? You just need to select that payment method and then click on continue button, and then you will be again, so once you select check or money order, then the new module just now whatever we created, right, so that page is going to appear. You just need to click on continue, right? So by this we have completed automating the test steps of checkout process with a new payment method check or money order, correct? So now what about verification of the prices? So in the same way you have to build a verification of the prices module with the corresponding modules. Basically the verification of the prices test step, you have to build a corresponding module here. Okay, so here what is the module for the verification of the prices we need to do? We have to drag and drop our payment method. I think, let me just see, not this one, confirmation of the order. Okay, so this one, confirm order, right? The confirmation of the order, we are gonna drag and drop confirmation of the order. Okay, drag confirm order and place it here. Okay, So and then what we need to do, you have to set the cart total. So whatever the total you want earlier, whatever we did, right? So here, whether the subtotal, shipping, payment method, all these are correctly calculated or not, that we are going to do. Okay. Okay. So once you add the module, which is confirm order, what we can do is we can just rename this as verification of prices. Okay. Now, so as I explained you in my earlier scenario automation, here also what we are going to do, for the column I'll be selecting hash pound1 and make it as pound2, and then here let's select subtotal. Okay, and then I'm gonna enter the math function here. Basically, I would like to calculate the subtotal, okay, by entering the math function where I'm adding the price blue jeans variable, right? Earlier, what we did is in checkout process, we have stored a buffer for the price of the blue jeans in a variable called price blue jeans, and I'm multiplying with the quantity of the jeans, right? That is one thing. And then now again select subtotal. Now I would like to store this, okay, into a buffer called subtotal. Okay, so then select this action mode as buffer. That means whatever the subtotal appears on the screen, I'm going to store that into a buffer. Correct? So now let me select a payment method additional fee. Okay. So this is one new additional fee that will be charged when you select the payment method as your check or money order. Correct? So I would like to compare this with a $5. Okay, payment method additional fee $5. Correct? And then verify this and then select again a total. So now what is my total? So my total is, again I will have a math function here to calculate. Okay, so before total I would like to select the subtotal as well. Sorry, shipping is how much. I would like to verify shipping as $10. Correct? And then now you select total. Okay, and now the total should be, again it's a math function. What is that? The math function is this, which is I would like to multiply. So basically I would like to call a buffer. I would like to call a buffer subtotal and then add that subtotal to the shipping cost and the payment method additional fee. Okay, and this should be my total. Okay, so now as we already completed adding all the modules, okay, you can close this module section. Now we have built a new scenario where I'm using all the reusable test steps from my previous automated test case, and then I have made some small changes to these two steps. Right, now my script is ready. Now you can run the script. So before we run the scripts, what we need to do is you have to make sure that test configuration is added as a browser and your browser value is Internet Explorer. And one more thing I forgot to mention here. So when you are mentioning, basically when you are verifying these subtotals, right? So wherever there is a numeric values, you have to mention as a numeric here. Okay, this one also numeric, and then this is numeric. Okay, this one I need not to mention as numeric because it's a hard coded value, but this is your formula output, right? So you have to make sure that it's a numeric. Okay, so now let's run this entire new test scenario what we automated. Okay, so for that I need to right click and then click on run in Scratchbook. So it's going to open an Internet Explorer. It's opened an Internet Explorer, clicked on login, entered username password. So it's going to add blue jeans 25, and then it's all same thing. But here the payment method, this time it's going to select a money order. So if you see here, check in money order, it's selected. Now the new page appeared, whatever we captured. And now it is verifying the totals and then successful message. And now let's see the results are passed or failed. Okay. So if you go to results, if you see every result is passed. So especially the payment method, we are going to validate here. Verification of the prices. If you see the verification of the prices, see all the prices whatever we formulated are correct. Verification success, shipping is $10, right? And my payment method, which is a new payment method, which is money order, right? So $5 has been charged, that is correct. And my total is what? My total is 40, and the actual value also 40. Okay, so this is how you can use your libraries and the reusable test step blocks. Okay, so hope you all understand the very important concept of libraries and reusable test step blocks, where you can use these reusable test step blocks in multiple test cases. You need not to again rewrite the code. You just need to reuse all the code that you have already built. Okay, please subscribe to my channel, click on bell icon so that you will receive notifications whenever post more videos on Tosca. Thank you.